propelling P2B's presidential bid, which has now metamorphosed to obedient movement. The youths of Nigeria have seen hope in P2B. He's the one making sense. He's the only one talking that is connecting with the problem and bringing out all the problems and all the challenges holding Nigeria down and profiling solutions to them. So people have now seen not only the youths. Initially they said that youths of Nigeria. I tell you that every segment of Nigeria, both the middle-aged people, elderly people, they've all joined in seeing reason for a change from the status quo. So that's why obedient movement has become a wave that is blowing across Nigeria. It's not you say, what did you call it for entertainment?
Some people have referred it as entertainment.
I don't know, it must be misconception. This is a movement that is driven by the people, ordinary people. Don't give people money to come out. In some days, all the cities in Nigeria will hold marches across the streets demanding for Mr. Peter Obi to represent us. Simultaneously. You have seen it, so they're open for you to see. Initially, they said it was a social media creation. But when they started seeing these matches going on television, they know that they are being done by the people. When people who run restaurants cook food and bring food freely, sharing to people who are doing matches, calling for a new Nigeria. And that new Nigeria they are looking for is the Nigeria that somebody like P2B will become the president. And then this time, looking at the presidential candidates on parade, P2B stands out as the man who will have the magic.
We've got to come back to that, but people would also want to know, and there are many people who are listening to us, and then you have been coming here frequently, so you are not new here, and then the people of Anambra State know you so much, and you are such, popular to this extent that you can be identified anytime, any day, anywhere, and wherever you are. I want to also ask this question before they ask. If I didn't ask, they would also ask. But before I ask the question, please be reminded that we are on different social media platforms. You can join the program wherever you are in the world. All you need to do is to log on to www.odenibofm.net. Just click listen live. For those of you who are in Italy, and those of you in US, and those who are in different parts of Europe, you can be part of this program. And also remember, you can also download, or if you have it on radio, the online radio box or Nick Radio app or Radio Garden. These are different apps. You can also download and be part of the program. We have a distinguished Senator Victor Umeh, OFR, who is here with us as our guest on our invitation. And we are looking at different developments in the country. And now, before now, you were in Abga, and today you are in Labour. If I do not ask this question, callers will ask. So let me save them this rhetorics or the racking of memory to find out why you decided to leave Abga and join Labour Party. It's important you explain to them.
Well, very well. I think it's a good opportunity to answer this question because I've not been here in the past several months.
Okay.
And since I joined Labour Party in June, early June, first week of June, I've not been in any radio in Anambra State to speak on this subject. It is a common fact that in Nigeria, because of what I have done with Abga for 20 years, that I've become a face in the party because of the struggles I've led for the party. Even now that I'm in the Labour Party, people still don't believe that I'm in the Labour Party.
They don't.
Going around Nigeria, they always refer to me as that Abga man. So the truth is that I'm in the Labour Party now. I've not only been in the Labour Party, I'm a candidate of the Labour Party for the Anambra Central Senatorial District election. Why did I leave Abga? Well, at some point, something must happen that will make you reflect and then see what you should do. All my political life, have been very actively engaged in ensuring the survival of ABGA. In Anambra State here, where through our efforts, myself making major contribution, we were able to bring ABGA into government here in 2006, finally through Mr. Peter Umeh.
Okay.
But the struggle was for about 4 years, from 2002 to 2006. Because the election came, we won. It was not given to Mr. Obi. We had to go to court. So we were in court for nearly 3 years until we retrieved the mandate from the PDP, and Obi became governor in 2006.
Okay.
From there on, I devoted my time and energy and resources fighting to make the party remain here.
Okay.
For many particular reasons. One, I was a founding member of the party, and I knew the reasons for the registration of the party.
Okay.
So I kept doing it, and I was doing it, and at some time, because of the constitution, your time will run out. I served for 8 years as chairman, national chairman of ABGA, and 2 years as acting national chairman before the 8 years. That making it 10 in the whole. These 10 years of service, you can touch and feel the impact I made in making sure that ABGA stayed here.
Okay.
I ensured that Mr. Peter was governor here for 8 years. I ensured that ABGA won the governorship election in Imo State in 2011 through Rocha Sokorocha. Even after handing over to my successor in 2015, I remained a very great defender of the party, ensuring that in all times of trouble, I came out to help to rescue the party. I ensured that Obiano went for second term in office. I was DG of his campaign. I drove it, and he won. In this party, I never looked back. He worked for 8 years here, served out, and for Soludo to come in, I was a major player in the engine room to ensure that he became governor. The people of Anambra State saw all this, so I'm not telling them an unfamiliar story.
Okay.
And when we finished and he got in, of course, this change of buttons have different implications in the politics in the state. And for me, I believe that at some point, you have to take a good look at how people feel about you, what they want to happen, and all that. So I noticed that after the election, precisely on the 12th of November, we got our certificate of return for Soludo.
Okay.
And from that particular day, his attitude changed.
Whose attitude?
Governor Soludo's attitude changed.
His attitude changed towards you or towards the party?
Me, towards me. You know, I am known for speaking the truth very brutally. And anything I say here is the truth and nothing but the truth. So some of these things, you can manage them and keep them out of the public glare until you get to a point that if you cannot take it, then you have to do what God asks you to do.
Okay.
So I didn't know why it should be so, because I played very critical roles at different times. Remember, I was the coalition agent in his governorship election.
Okay.
And he was the one who pleaded with me to be the coalition agent. He said I was the only one he believed that could do that job. When they had problems in the party, in the leadership, I was everywhere defending him. You know, and when INEC tried to say that ABGA will not have a governorship candidate in Anambra State, I didn't give them notice to conduct delegate primary. You know, he saw me in INEC, on Channels Television with Face to Sokoye, 25th of June, 2 days after the primary that emerged. I went and took on him, and after that, they took to their heels. Somebody was put as a candidate when they created the problem legally. Yes, I was everywhere defending, with advocacy and everything, and eventually reason prevailed. The court had to do justice to that matter, and he became candidate. So at no point was I ever nothing that there was any grievance. It was nothing against me.
But was there any grievance at all?
Yes, I'm coming to you, telling you the story.
Okay.
So I said that on 12th November, that was when he switched off. And I didn't want to raise any dust, so I was maintaining my cool, working to see what was happening. In January, he set up his transition committee of 80 members. Remember? Yeah, when the list came out, I saw some strange names in it. I took particular exception to the name of the collection agent of the PDP, who was fighting with me during the collection process. Every result that came, he opposed it, like it was a fraudulent election result from Urumba North, Anambra East, everywhere. So I saw his name in the transition committee. So of course, I don't. One problem I have is that I don't keep quiet over something that is wrong. I consider, in my mind. So I spoke to him on the 15th of January. I called him. I said, I saw this. Why did you do that? I don't think it was proper for the party. That people will misunderstand this. He said all kinds of things. Of course, I left it. I kept on my own. So we continue moving. I started hearing that he's not happy with me, that I disqualified him in 2013 when he wanted to run for governor. The stories were coming from all sides. Even my opponent was telling people that I will never get the ticket of Abga for this election. It got to a point I started calling him to see if I can hear from him. Eventually, I was able to get an appointment to see him on March 2nd, and I went there. That was the only question I asked him. Do you have any animosity against me? He said, no. I said, these are the things people are saying, and I read them in the social media as well. And things that happen suggest that it may be true. He said, no, that anybody who wants to run for election should go ahead and run for election. There's no problem. I said, well, if that is their position, that I stopped in 2013, there will be no point wasting my time. So he said, no, everybody should go. I took it like that and went on. So, but eventually, all those things played out, but came true. And I didn't want to just walk away. There are certain things I will not say here because I'm a leader. You don't say everything to the public. But it was clear to me that something was amiss. Some kind of vendetta was on, So I looked at the whole thing. I felt satisfied in my conscience. I didn't do anything to him. One thing is that in 2013, yes, I called him to come and run for governor. I called him.
Okay.
Yeah, when I won the case at the court of appeal. At that time, I had strange relationship with the former governor. And when he came, that judgment was delivered on 15th of July, 2013. So when he came, the primary was conducted 26th of August, just about a month plus. So there wasn't much he has done in the party. But we're in the process, and some elders were trying to mediate over the matter so that we unite completely together, both myself and Governor Peter Obi, so that we go to the election together. I subjected myself to that mediation, and when at that meeting, Peter said he has promised Anambra North that to hand over to them.
Okay.
So zoning became an issue now.
Oh, it was a case of zoning.
Zoning, yes. So I said that the candidate I had in mind was Chukwuma Soludo to be governor. And after discussing this issue very robustly, the people who were in the meeting said it is better we follow the governor's lead for governorship to go to Anambra North, since he has made an agreement with them. And for us to work together to achieve victory, we needed Governor Obi to work with me in the party as chairman to get that done. So when I saw that I couldn't push it beyond what I have done, I said, okay, that I will explain to Charles Soludo. When I came out from that meeting, I called him and told him that there's no point continuing, that the zoning now is at the turn of the north. Even Ohanese, a lot of groups have done that. So I told him not to protest the form. He said there was nothing like zoning, and he bought the form. Of course, during screening, he was stopped, just to keep faith with that understanding that the governor should come from the north. So whatever has happened now was I'm now a victim of leadership. He retained it, even though he took me to court and lost at that time. Unlike what is being said now that he took it calmly. He didn't take it calmly. He went to court, sued me, and lost. Later on, we made up. We became friends again. He said he now knew what happened, that he wasn't angry again. I thought it was over until this last time. That was what happened. So there was a gang up against me, a plot to stop me, and it happened. Certain things that continue to happen show so. And I am not bothered about that. My Christian spirit is that I don't do anything that I'm not convinced about.
Okay.
So if I had anything in mind against him, I wouldn't have given him the robust support I gave him in this election he contested. The plan for him to become governor was also hatched in my house in Enugu. And I met with him and Primus and Father Manafa. If they are around, Manafa will be listening to this.
Okay.
Yeah, so we finished and said he's the best candidate. They came to consult me. They're looking for a successor to their brother. I said, who do you have in mind? They visited me in Enugu. I said, they're thinking about a lot of people, but then Soludo, I said, Soludo is the best. That was in 2019, not even today. So, and they were happy. They said they were thinking like that too. And he was invited, he came, we 4 of us met. We went through this process. He thanked all of us and said he was very happy that even that he was stopped in 2013 because he would have wasted his money. But that he liked me for telling him the truth. Though it was hot for them, but now he knew the truth. So we prayed together and went to work. That's all I did. So as to leaving the party, when I saw all the things together, nobody knew that from 12th November till the time I left the party, he refused to give me appointment to see him, despite all the efforts I made to see him. I never entered the governor's lodge until I left. The last time I went, first and last time I went to the governor's lodge was on 22nd of May, when he called the governorship aspirants to come to talk to them. I was there, and from there I left. So these things were not in the public domain. I kept them to myself.
But you have now released them now.
Yes. Now that you have asked the question, I know that a lot of people would want to know why I left Afghan. You know, and I owe them that explanation. A lot of people have called me too, but it was a huge surprise to everybody. Today, even now, they also insult me everywhere that I'm a boss or two. Ojukwu was a boss or one. Soludo called me a boss or two on the 7th of August, you know, when I first met him publicly. So some of these things are things you manage. You don't let it out so that you don't overheat the politics. So now that it became clear to me that he didn't want me around.
Will you just conclude that? Because I saw both of you, somewhere in Rome, Italy. Both of you were there together.
I didn't go there for him. I was invited.
And I saw the pictures and then the
forget about all those things. Even the day they published a picture between me and him laughing at St. Faith Cathedral in Oka, we were quarreling inside the church. But people didn't know. They thought we were playing jokes. That was where he called me a boss or two. I told him, don't try it again. So we were smiling jokingly, but it was a serious issue. So telling you pointedly, there are times when you know that you cannot continue in an environment. When the place had become hostile, of course, you knew my case with the current chairman that I handed over to. In 2018, I condemned the way he managed the party as his predecessor, and he took grave offense. History will judge everybody. So it was convenient for them to come together and plot to block me. It was only maybe few people that did not know that I will not get a ticket. Everywhere I was told that I will not get the ticket. But because of the love the party people had for me, I decided to move on, to continue. I went on a tour of the 7 local governments to meet all the party formations, and every local government endorsed me with the stakeholders. So I then moved on. So at the end of the day, they said I lost by 11 votes. My opponent was given opportunity to write delegate list for his local government in Jikoka completely. And that's where they turned the table, 49-3. After sharing money, dollars and all that, I lost by 11 votes. So I'm very grateful to my party people, ABGA members.
Are they still your party people?
Yes, we are the same.
But you're in Labour now.
No, it doesn't matter. I'm talking based on when I was there.
Okay.
They fought very hard to sustain me. You know, a day before the primary, the delegates were put in the hotels. I didn't put anybody in any hotel. Dollars were shared to them, but after the counting, it was 151, 162. So 11 votes, and they went into mourning. So, but that's it. And I left. I went home. I didn't plan to do anything to join Labour Party. Nothing came to my mind until the next day, 29th, a day after that primary. I got a call from the former governor of Anambra State, my brother Peter Obi.
Oh, he got a call? He called you?
He called me, yeah.
Okay.
And told me that he saw the outcome of our primary the previous day. That was wrong. How could that happen? That this is unacceptable. You know how he...
But you were not all that in good terms with him before now?
I wasn't even expecting a call from
him?
Yeah, and he called me. He told me he was in Asaba, that they're preparing for their convention the next day, 30th of May. That he will be nominated the preferred candidate of Labour Party on that Monday. But he would like me to consider, if it's possible, to come over. But they still have a chance for the primaries for senatorial in Labour Party, and let's come back together to continue working together.
The way you both of you worked in 2002.
Yes, from 2002 till when the evil men struck again. People, leadership is not something you think is a tea party.
Okay.
So he called me and said those things. I said, okay, if you get the ticket on Monday, we talk again. He said he will call me. After their convention, he was nominated, and he called me again in the evening. Said he has become the candidate. That was when my position opened up. I decided to look at it very dispassionately.
Okay.
One was that I have always championed the cause of a president coming from the southeast. I've been advocating for it.
Okay.
If you've been following, even as a member of ABGA, I was on national televisions, Arise News channels, canvassing for the president of Nigeria to come from the southeast in 2023, based on equity and fairness and the rotation principle in operation. I was doing that, and then Zuku Munna, that I belong to, set up a committee to drive it. Governor Kwesile of Enugu State, former governor, was made the chairman. I was made the vice chairman. So we mounted the Greater Nigeria Conference purely to agitate and advocate for a president to come from the southeast in 2023 on the basis of equity, fairness, and rotation. So I was prominent in that. So at that time I was speaking for every person that is from the southeast, not necessarily for ABGA or PDP or APC. So I was very prominent in that advocacy, and on each occasion I was asked, who do you people have that can do that? I will always mention Peter as a competent hand. I wasn't talking with him then, but I was convinced that if he became the president or become president of Nigeria, I know him as somebody who can manage work very well. And I know that the problems Nigeria is facing today is as a result of poor management of our resources and allocation of resources. So I knew that Peter would do it very well. So I was saying it, and people didn't believe I could be saying all that I was very generous to Mr. Obi. But I was doing that because I believed he could do that. So even when he left the PDP, I was called immediately by Rise TV to comment. I commended him for leaving the PDP. That PDP was unfair to our people. The Southeast people have always supported PDP. And again, there was no way any right-thinking person will continue to exclude the Southeast from the topmost job in Nigeria, the presidency. So when the PDP said they removed zoning that they were practicing before, and Mr. Obi, of course, saw the end of the road for him there, he resigned, he withdrew from the race and resigned from PDP. So when they called me, I commended Peter for leaving. I said, this is the right action he should take. You know, there's no way you can be somewhere and you are not wanted. So that was what happened. And from there, when he called me and we considered all these things, I accepted to join. Because one, for me, it's a fulfillment of my dream to stand behind somebody from the Southeast who is running for president. Because I verily believe that this time around, we should be the people to produce president for Nigeria. Not based on the basis of anything, but in terms of balancing things, equity and fairness. And to make it worthwhile, I considered P2B to be a very credible candidate. So I had to accept to join him because he invited me to join him. My going there was primarily, number one, to support him for the presidency, which has already gotten nominated as candidate. I don't know who I would have supported other than him. Is it the APC candidate or PDP candidate I will go to support when I've been preaching against them, the way they have excluded our people in the scheme of things. So I saw it as a way of continuing to fight for our people. So to go and stand by P2B, which for me is also another replay of what happened in 2001. When he wanted to run for governor, he came to enlist me to support him. We went and succeeded. Now he wants to go for presidency, and he called me again to come. I said it must be a divine. There must be a divine thing.
No structure.
People
are saying no structure.
I'm coming to that. So I had to go with him to support him, and that's what I've been doing in the past 5 months. Run around with him everywhere in Nigeria, making sure that we try it, and God blessing it, he will become the president of Nigeria. Nobody knew at the time when I joined him that the Labour Party will ever make any impact. They dismissed the Labour Party, the way they dismissed ABGA in 2002 here in Anambra State. But you can see the wave. The obedient movement we talked about has become the most vibrant and progressive political movement ever seen in Nigeria, where people of all shades are lining behind one individual. We have been able to garner support from across the geopolitical zones. The conference we had on the 25th of April in Abuja, an international conference center, we organized it. We brought in leaders from all the geopolitical zones. But Aya Devanjo came there from Southwest and endorsed the Southeast. At that time, it was Southeast. He endorsed the Southeast. But Edwin Clark couldn't come. He sent Chumaike Mokbe with a written paper he read on his behalf because of ill health. He's 95 now, supporting Southeast. Then the people of the Middle Belt came, and the president of the Middle Belt Forum, Dr. Beatrice Pogu, was the guest speaker at that event. He spoke and declared support for the Southeast. Now that P2B eventually emerged as the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, all these groups have endorsed him again. So it's not a small thing that you are seeing, my brother. This is a movement that God is shepherding, because it's a movement that believes in need to rescue Nigeria. And the only person from all the people that have come out or nominated as presidential candidates is only P2B who is making sense. So the movement is real, and people who are everywhere in Nigeria are marching behind him.
Do you think he will get that support from the North?
He's getting the support already from the North. How else will you... the Middle Belt is in the North. 6 states in the North is the Middle Belt. You have Kogi, you have Benue, you have Nasarawa, you have Plateau, you have Niger and Kwara. These are the North Central states. And to demonstrate their firm resolve, I've been attending meetings, various meetings in this discussion. So I know that they mean what they're saying. And the other day we were in Jos. That Jos rally was organized by the Middle Belt Forum. It wasn't organized by the Labour Party.
Oh, Middle Belt Forum organized that Jos rally.
Jos rally to endorse Mr. P2B and the Labour Party.
We saw the crowd.
You could see what I'm telling you. Nobody put a cover for them. They did it on their own, and we were there. It was, in fact, I cried in that stadium that day. We couldn't even enter the stadium. We couldn't leave the stadium. Right from the airport, as we were going to the city, people filed out in every road junction, waving clothes and the leaves for Peter Obi that is passing, like Jesus Christ entering Jerusalem. So it was very touching, and it was a very wonderful experience. So the obedient movement is a movement that will change Nigeria for the better, and I thank God that I'm part of it.
Right.
So to answer your question finally,
Just make it brief because of
very finally, my joining the Labour Party was in answer to a call to continue to do that which I believed in. Okay. That somebody from here should be president of Nigeria. And those who are hauling insults on me, I'm sorry for them. If Ojukwu were to be alive, he will endorse Peter Obi.
They say that
of the Labour Party.
They say that they promised Ojukwu that he will never leave Abga, and one Igbo Abga was actually making all manner of statements against you. And then I don't know how you react to that in a minute.
No, what you do in life is to keep focused. People will call you all kinds of names, but I've just explained to you the circumstances that made it possible. I told Ojukwu, what Ojukwu told me was to ensure that Abga is alive. Abga is alive.
So they are still alive?
He's alive. They are running a government in Anambra.
So you've never disappointed Ojukwu in any way?
How could I have? I handed over the party alive in 2015.
Okay.
By my sheer special commitment to the party and its ideals, I remained on duty for the party, even 7 years after handing over.
Right. Now, some people are saying that your body is in Labour Party, but your spirit may still be in Abga. How do you reconcile this statement by some people?
No, we are the same people. I'm an Igbo man. Wherever you find me, I'm an Igbo man.
Okay.
You know, and I've told you the circumstance under which I joined the Labour Party.
Say that.
And I have not betrayed the struggle. The struggle is for us to arise in Nigeria and take what belongs to us.
But the party has a presidential candidate in, the Abga has a presidential candidate in Umadi.
That's correct. When I was vice chairman of the Greater Nigeria Conference for 2023, I made sure that it was a non-partisan group, all political parties, PDP, all that. I made sure that we involved Abga in that movement, so that we showcased all presidential hopefuls in all the political parties from the southeast. We wrote letters to him. I made sure that I called him. He sent me his pictures. So I put his picture in the promotional advert for that conference that I held on 25th of April. Letters were written to all presidential aspirants from southeast. His own, he got it. Sometimes I send by WhatsApp to him.
Okay.
Then on the 24th, I arrived at Abuja for that conference for the 25th. I called him to make sure that he was coming. He told me he just landed in Anambra, that he has a ward meeting the next day that is, sorry, I'm sure if he's listening, I don't tell lies against anybody. So he didn't come to that conference. Peter Obi was there, Paul Sanyin was there, Ngi was there, Samuel Huabonga was there, Ugochukwu Anakwenze was there. All the major presidential aspirants from Southeast were on parade. Umeh did not come.
Just because he wanted to?
I don't know why. So I firmly believe that the person who wants to run for president from here is Mr. Peter Obi. He spoke there. He was part of the program.
So are you saying he's not serious with his presidential ambition?
I don't know. If he's serious, that's for me. I have a right to make a choice.
Okay.
It's Peter that is making the impact in Nigeria today, and everybody should support him.
Right.
That's what it is. He's the only one that is making the impact.
We have to allow people to come in here. For those of you who are listening to this is Organibo 99.1 FM Obosi, you can join my Facebook Live, because if you go to Facebook, Tony Olisambeki Live, and so many people who are there listening to the program, join the Facebook Live. So for you to see the video, the live video of the program, Tony Olisambeki is the Facebook name. Tony Olisambeki Wonder. Please, if you add that, so it's going to be complete. Tony Olisambeki Wonder. So you can be part of that. Remember, you can join us on online Radio Voice, Sneak Radio app, and Radio Garden. These are apps. You can download them if you have them already. You can always make do with these apps. let's allow you to come in. Because of time, we have to manage situations, and we have many questions to ask. We must convoke the most powerful, the most parliament in sub-Saharan Africa. You can call us on 0906 14 14 478 or 0703 81 555 15. We have in the studio with us the distinguished Senator Dr. Victor Umeh, OFR. He is here on our invitation, and he's doing justice to why he's here. He has spoken. He has told us why he left Abga, the circumstances leading to that. But then remember, as we usually say, that is his own side of the story. Could there be any other side of the story to this? But then we are waiting for that. So anybody who feels that the story presented here has some elements of contradictions can also be avail himself that time to come and tell us his own story. Okay, let's open the phone lines. Make it brief, just in a minute, so that we can attend to some of these questions. Good morning, you're welcome. It's good to have you. We're going straight to the phone lines. You're welcome. It's good to have you. Let's have your name. Honorable Sunday, where you calling from in Newi? All right, thank you so much. Just to cut away, wishing well. Good morning. You are welcome. It's good to have you. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. Good morning. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Interest. Yeah. No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. No. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I didn't say one that I didn't say I told Ojuku I will never leave Abga.
Oh, you never said that?
No, I never said that. On what circumstance? I said don't allow Abga die.
Okay, don't allow Abga die.
Yes, and Abga is alive. I've kept it alive.
All right.
If I was in a position to kill Abga when I was chairman, I was offered money at different times and I refused, trying to ensure that the party survived. So as for the masses, what I'm doing now is on the interest of the masses. The masses are speaking in Nigeria and are behind P2B. If there's anybody who could have betrayed again, it's me. I have opportunity to even join the APC. When I was in the Senate, Senator Ruremi Tinubu's wife, was the chairman of the Senate Committee on Environment, and I was vice chairman. I had a chubby relationship with her. We worked very well and understood ourselves. When in 2019, I couldn't return to the Senate, she wrote me a letter and told me that she regretted that I'm not coming back to the Senate, and asked me to change party. And I said, no, I will not change. So, but now that the right opportunity came for me to change party, I changed this party for a reason.
Oh, for a reason.
For a reason. I didn't change party because I was looking for personal gain. That P2B in March presidential candidate of Labour Party was in line with my dream, and it's also in line with Ojuku's dream, because all of us are struggling for our rights in Nigeria. So if there's any time I have opportunity to put my weight behind what to benefit our people, I will gladly go into it.
Okay.
Going to Labour Party, what is in Labour Party? They have nothing. So what has anybody gone there to gain?
So it means going to Labour Party is to contribute.
To contribute, yes. We're working hard. They have no government. That's why we've been dismissed all the time, that we don't have structure, like you said.
They say nobody.
We don't have councillor, you don't have local government chairman, transition chairman, you don't have honorable members and all that. The people have joined the party. There are serving senators in the party now. There are members of the House of Reps serving at the time in the party. People have been coming.
Oh, they have joined this party.
Yes, they have joined. We have a lot of them. You know, so this is a place where there is a new direction, and it is us that are laboring, working very hard to see if we can contribute in making that desired change for Nigeria.
Okay.
So there's nothing to go and take away, like Arinze said, driven by personal interest. I mean, Labour Party does not mean that I have won the election. People talk about going with P2P so that I can win. It's fallacy. I went to the Senate. Remember, I contested in 2015, went through the court, got a run election, and went to the Senate. Was I working with P2B then? I wasn't working with it. It was in PDP. I fought through to go to the Senate, and when I got there for 17 months, I made the impact. I made impact. So it's not about anything.
No personal interest.
There's no personal interest.
Now,
Yes.
but then somebody would have asked this question: if you are not offered a space or the opportunity to run for senatorial position under Labour, would you still have joined Labour to work for the same dream you talked about? Yes or no?
Exactly. I would have done that.
Not because of the opportunity.
No. I would have done that. Even the offer for me to run for Senate was because they feel that I have the capacity, you know, that will add to the weight of the party in the states. So it wasn't as if I went there. I didn't look for Labour Party. I didn't go to look in search of tickets.
Yes. Right. You are not searching for tickets. That's what you say.
I don't.
Good morning, you're welcome. It's good to have you. Good morning. Are you there? You're on. Good morning.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Thank you. How are you in Osumohu, my brother? How are you in Osumohu first?
Are you in Osumohu? Are
you near Osumohu? Or
I know why.
Are you on exile? Okay, you're like Mbeki. Mbeki is here in the studio. Okay, hold on. Go on. Yeah. South. Okay. Yes, you. Thank you, my brother. We have a candidate for Labour Party for Anambra South Senatorial District, and his name is Dr. Ubinuzo. He was nominated, and his name was published by INEC. So I will take your observation and pass it to him. If he's not doing as you wanted him to be doing. But you know, the campaign is just yet to roll off.
It hasn't started properly.
So, but I believe he will pick up.
All right, and then the candidate for the Labour for South, for North.
Yeah, Dr. Tony Moya.
All right, okay.
Some of these people are known names already.
Right. Good morning, you're welcome. It's good to have you. Okay. You're welcome. You're welcome. A quick one.
Sorry about the flood.
Please go.
Oh. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, my brother. It's this question.
Good morning. We'll come back to that later on. Good morning. Good morning. Are you there? Let's take as much calls. Okay. I can react to that, but because the caller is still not trying to bring down the volume on his radio set. Good morning.
Hello, good morning, my honorable speaker.
Yeah, welcome.
Good morning, my program.
Are you still there?
Go ahead.
I like the word that I've forgotten the word I wanted to use to qualify you.
Thank you.
But I know we missed you in the Senate. You're welcome to the studio.
Thank you.
My name is Honorable Oliver from This
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
I'm so happy when I find out that you have becoming obedient and useful.
Mhm.
You have been useful even before you fitness.
Mhm.
Yes. And all I want to say is that some people be trying to misunderstand you or use the past record of some politicians who are selfish to qualify you. But we have to be, find a way to separate the corn from the tar at all times.
Yeah.
We have many politicians, but we know those we have that have our interest. Ever since you left the Senate, Senator Many have been on the road because we know how many of you who are there, and we know those who are there for us, for the Igbos, for Nigerians at large, not just for their own geopolitical zone.
Yeah.
We really miss you there, and I wish you well.
Thank you.
And Peter Obi,
Yeah.
Peter Obi goes to the president, and you become the senator, and for others that will join at last, I believe we'll have a better Nigeria. We'll have a Nigeria that we will be proud to call our own.
Thank you.
That of Nigeria we have today.
Thank you.
It's not very, very well, even in the area of this fraud disaster.
Mhm.
I wonder how many natural disasters Nigeria have that they cannot control this fraud that keep visiting.
Mm.
Keep visiting. How many? Do you know many people have died this year? Someone told me yesterday from Samara. And I told the person that I didn't hear this on the news. He said 120 people died inside this sea.
Oh God.
Yes, the someone called me. He said that they were inside the boat. And they don't know what happened to the boat. The boat crashed on this bridge pillar or something like that. More than 20 people died inside.
Yeah.
And I told the person, I just finished listening to some of the news. And I didn't hear it. He said that, how can we hear it? Which news agent can come to this river to get the news? One of the lady is calling me now. Then for that person was supposed to visit me today. He said that he can be scared not allow him to come to cross. Know what happened to Peter yesterday.
Sorry.
Suffering in this country. We need people like you back then.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right,
You
thank you.
see, like you just said, what we lack in the current National Assembly, and many times in the past, is that we don't have people who think and reason on how to solve problems. This issue of flooding, which I've told you about, I'll look for the video of my contribution in plenary and make it available. Then a twin issue is the issue of the oil subsidy. When I was in the Senate, I opposed the oil subsidy regime in Nigeria. I spoke against it in 2018. I spoke against it in 2019, even after the general elections. I said, if Nigeria does not build refineries, this oil subsidy challenge will continue to cripple this country. In that 2018, we approved about 1 trillion naira in payment for oil subsidy alone. In 2019, we approved again about 290 billion as the last tranche on the promissory notes to settle the arrears. I told them, if you don't build refineries, it will become an overhang.
Why is
on
it
Nigeria.
difficult to build
For
refineries?
4 years now, government has not done anything to set up one refinery in Nigeria. Just on 5th October this week, because I issued a statement 2 days ago. the Senate again approved 3.6 trillion naira in payment for oil subsidy. You know, you see, people are there benefiting through corruption. They don't want to do anything that will benefit the ordinary people. That is why kerosene is about 800 naira now. Diesel is about 900 naira. PMS petrol, which is the common thing we use to run engines, is over 200 naira. So you can see that if government had been doing the right thing, if we had had patriotic legislators, they will combine to force them. The last contribution I made on oil subsidy was I said the government must give us an action plan on how they can put up refinery, you know. But because we didn't return to the Senate, somebody like me, they continue to mess around. So that is it. And I assured the last caller that if I get back to the Senate by the grace of God, I will. There are so many things to tackle in Nigeria. Many things.
I remember you, just like you said, you've not even come for campaigns.
I'm not come for campaigns.
You come on your own for campaigns.
Yes.
You are here on invitation.
Yeah, on invitation for me to come and
talk about national issues.
So let's leave that one because there will be time for me to come and tell them here
one more time. You come for campaign.
For campaign, what the duties of a legislator are. Our people are judging people wrongly. The things the legislator should do are not the things they are doing today, you know. And some people are clapping for people who have failed the people. If you cannot intervene in making good laws for the good governance of this country, like in these areas of when you see things are not going well, like oil subsidy, this and that, it is the work of the parliamentarians to hold government to account.
But then people are saying the Ninth Assembly is more like a rubber stamp because of the Ahmed Lawan leadership.
I issued a statement yesterday that the Ninth National Assembly has failed Nigerians. They are very unfair to us. They are rubber stamp. You cannot be in parliament and what you do is garbage in, garbage out. Anytime the executive brings you, send them out. Well, in my 8th Senate, we had people who were very strong. I was there. Shehu Sani was there. Senator Shehu Sani was there, the human rights activist. We had Dino Milaye, despite his troubleshooting. We had Senator Misao from Bauchi State. These were the people who made the Senate tick. No matter what you bring there, they will attack it and be on the side of the people. So when we were there working, myself, Abaribe, you know, people have continued to refer to.
And they schemed all of you out.
Yes. How can we come back? You know, you see, the problem with Nigeria is that people who stand against the authorities, people move against them. It's like me. I'm not surprised at what happens to me, generally, because I'm a strong character. I acknowledge that I'm a strong character. And strong characters are hated by leaders. Because strong characters tell them the truth.
Okay.
Yes, if they see somebody who will tell them the truth, look at their eyes and tell them the truth, they make the person.
You're when the president laid down. You were when the president laid before the Senate or the Joint National Assembly the budget for 2023 over 20 trillion, with about 8 trillion to be borrowed to augment for the budget, the funding of the budget, and that's just first estimate. And you're also aware that even in the last budget of 17-point-something trillion that we have been able to borrow as much as possible, that the revenue of the government keeps declining to the point that the revenue of government will be put at 6 trillion as against 17-point-something trillion budget proposal you have. So, but the question is, can this continue? We have borrowed so much, and then to the point that the country is owing $103 billion. If you convert that to naira, that would also amount about 43 trillion naira. That's the humongous amount the government is actually owing.
Let me tell you, it is for this reason that the obedient movement is very strong in Nigeria. It's only P2B among the presidential candidates that can talk about the economy, how to do what is called fiscal discipline, how to manage money, respect money, don't have a lifestyle that can enable you to do other things to the benefit of the citizens. So the budget of yesterday, the president was a shameful thing to Nigeria. Every year you've continued to do deficit budgeting. In other words, you cannot have the money to finance their budget, despite what God has given to us. We have the crude, we sell it, we hear all kinds of things. Oil theft. The NNPC managing director said we lose so much money to oil theft in Nigeria. Who are the people managing the facilities? These are people that are in recognized authorities. So we don't have money to finance our budget. We can't even pay salaries of workers. The head of service of the Federation, I saw her the other day, she said they've been borrowing money to pay salaries. This is a country people are struggling to come and take over to become president. Why would they get the money to do this? They all have private jets. From where would they find money to address the needs of the ordinary people? It's only somebody who has a modest lifestyle, like P2B, that can control and cut down the cost of governance. At least when he was in Anambra State here, he did it. Peter cut down the cost of governance in Anambra State and saved money before leaving. If you check, when I disagreed with Peter, I disagreed with him on principle. It wasn't about his capacity to run government that made us to disagree. The quarrel was simply conduct of local government election, where I said he should conduct local government election. And some people who are enemies of progress came to tell him that if you don't want to conduct local government election, why should Victor Umeh tell you? He's national champion. Let us remove him. And they moved to remove me and failed. That's the only problem I had with Peter. So I know that he has the fiscal discipline. He has the mental capacity to turn things around. So this type of budget deficit, which they've continued to run with, they are just ridiculing Nigerians. Every year, you go and borrow money to finance your budget. And do you know the funny thing? It has been revealed that Nigeria does not have money to service its debts. The whole money we realize from the sale of crude oil in a year will not be sufficient to service our debts. You know what debt servicing is? Pay the interest and retire maybe a portion.
Yeah.
So we don't have what we earn in a year. We can't use it to service our debts in a year.
And it's not the best way to
So,
go.
so how are you going to provide for the needs of the citizens in all other areas? This is second Niger bridge. They told us they will complete by December. You know, from what you said here now, I listened to you say it's been shifted to 2024. So it means that Buhari will not even commission it. He will not see it.
It was a rumor, it has not been confirmed. It was a
whatever-
caller. It was a caller that made that very statement.
Okay, caller said it. So whatever it is, what I'm telling you is that Nigeria is passing through difficult times. And this is not time for us to begin to insult people. If you see people who are well-meaning, who are in a position to contribute to debates and activities that will lead to good governance, you stand behind them. I'm not here to go to the Senate to become senator. I'm already Senator Victor Umeh, for example. But the important thing is that I know myself, and by the time I come back, I'll tell you what it is. Yes, I'll tell you what it is and what you should be expecting as we go on.
All right, remember, this is Sustainable 99.1 FM of Bossy, and we're here live. And for those of you also who want to watch the live video, you can also go to Senator Victor Umeh OFR on Facebook. Once you search Senator Victor Umeh OFR on Facebook, you can also follow the live video on there. And you can also follow the live video on Tony Liso Mbeki Obunna, and then you can also join us on different platforms, www.odenibofm.net, on Live Radio Boss, or Nig Radio app, or Radio Garden. There's so many of these platforms. You can get us wherever you are as far as this planet is concerned, Planet Earth. Let's go back to the phone lines. Good morning.
So Nigeria is living on credit.
You're welcome. We'll come back to that.
Nigeria is living on credit.
Mr. Joseph calling from Onitsha. Let's go. Make it brief.
Yeah. Good morning. Yeah. God will help us. Thank you. Yeah.
All right. Right, thank you so much. I want to say something.
Thank you, my dear brother. You see, we have different work attitudes.
Mm.
What I have been doing is what I have consistently done for over 20 years. I work very hard, and I take the people very seriously.
Okay.
Yeah, since June 3rd that I became candidate of the Labour Party, I've been here every time. I've been in Anambra State. I've been involved in mobilizing the structures of the party. Last week, on Thursday, I hosted about 700 people from Labour Party, 5 persons per ward, principal officers per ward, the ward chairman, ward secretary, ward treasurer, ward youth leader, ward woman leader, times 109, 545 of them. Then 5 principal officers per local government, they were 35. Then 10 people from the state working committee. You know, if you add it, it's 90. You know, I mean 590. I held a meeting with them at Hollywood Event Center in Oka. It was covered, it was shown on Facebook. You see, if you don't do grassroots mobilization, you're not playing politics, because you need to get to the people and know what the problems are. I've been to Oka North, everywhere, trying to ensure that I mobilize this needed support from Mr. P2B in my own jurisdiction, because I know we need it. Everybody is obedient already, because but we need to do work and go into a contest. This is a contest. So then when I come for campaign, we talk about other things. But speaking generally, I want to tell you that the obedient movement is self-sustaining. What is happening is beyond all of us, including Mr. P2B. Is this issue of the collapse of Nigeria that makes P2B to be riding the crest, is the one that everybody believes that can do it. He's talking everywhere. He's been to the US in the past 1 week. This our brother, we should be praying for him to be alive. He doesn't sleep, he doesn't rest. He's been all over America last week, and by yesterday he was already in Oxford University in the UK. Tomorrow night he will come back to Nigeria, and on Monday we'll meet in Abuja for presentation of his manifesto. So we pray for him. What he's doing already is what God is sustaining. And I believe that the economy of Nigeria is going to be the deciding factor in the forthcoming election. Nobody wants this hardship to continue.
So how do you rate him amongst his main rival? You have Atiku Abubakar, you have Bola Ahmed Tinubu of APC and that of PDP. How do you rate the candidate of Labour Party?
I've argued on national televisions that the voters are the important people. And when they said that to Labour Party does not have structure, I told them that the structure is there, that the voters are the structure. With the new electoral regime, where rigging is almost impossible, the voters, if they want Nigeria to be like this, they want to the choice they will make. But the Nigerians have demonstrated that they want a new break in leadership, and that's why they're supporting P2B. So rating him alongside Atiku and Tinubu, a lot of opinion polls have been conducted in the past 2 months. Peter has been winning all of them. Even Bloomberg, an international reputable organization, has conducted opinion poll here, and Peter got 72%. You know, so it's an international assessment. So rating is clear to everybody. The Nigerian people want Peter, both from the north, the south, all the zones. Everywhere you go to the street and interview people, it's P2B. So I think we should continue to work hard and give him all our total support, and most importantly, pray for him.
All right, on the final thought, because we're about to go this time around, and because time is actually quite fast. And then let's have your final words before you part from the studio this morning.
Yeah, to Adendibo, I thank them very much. You see, the calls that came in this morning showed that they have not left me. They still appreciate my person, my position, my stand on all issues, you know. And my assurance to them is that the work is just beginning. I've brought out myself as an Igbo man in politics, and I'll continue to fight for the rights of our people. Nobody can intimidate me. Even this one I'm contesting, and they're conspiring on how to dismiss me, I will not get any. Nobody is God. God is God of justice. And God's kingdom is everlasting. All these small kingdoms and transit powers cannot stop a man God has chosen. So I want us to be focused. We're on a journey. God has answered our prayers from this part of Nigeria in a very positive manner. This is the first time somebody from the south is running for president and is getting open endorsement from the southwest, from the south-south, from the middle belt, and from even the corners. The presidential vice president we got, Dr. Yusuf Dat Ahmed, is a wonderful man, somebody who has PhD and has a two universities, Base University Abuja and Base University Kano. So he's an educationalist and a much younger person than Peter. This is the pair that is inspiring this hope in Nigeria. Not somebody who is tired, you bring him back in the midst of problems. How is he going to tackle the problems? So we have to keep faith. All of us from Anambra State here, despite whatever the relationship with anybody is, let us stay on course with this movement. This movement is not for P2B, it's for all of us and all Nigerians. This thing you are saying, you see the budget you spoke about now, that budget is a disaster. There's what is called balanced budget. A balanced budget is a budget where the income and expenditure are equal, at least. So that the money you earn will be the money you will spend on services and infrastructure. But when you don't have money to pay even salaries, you don't have money to service your debts, how can you hope that the country will survive? So this is the thing everybody should be reflecting on in making his decision. So we have to put this country in the hands of people who are knowledgeable, energetic, competent, and capable. So that even if you're a poor man, the policies of government will affect you positively.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, so I thank our people, and I assure them that I'm still Ahmadi Kendibo. Next time I will come, I will talk to our people in Igbo.
Okay.
Yes, when I come for campaign, we've not started. I'm not started campaign.
Okay.
Yeah, because the election is in February.
Okay.
And what I'm doing is that I'm organizing, I'm consulting, setting up structures, mobilizing the party. By the time we take off to meet people, it will be wonderful.
On that note, we want to thank you, Senator Dr. Victor Umeh, for your time, for at least honoring the invitation we extended to you. We also want to thank our parliamentarians, our colleagues, our listeners, and everyone around. Please quickly
I want to drop an information so that when people see it, they won't start getting agitated or worried. Okay. My opponent has sued me again in the Federal High Court, saying that I'm not qualified to be candidate of Labour Party. Haven't participated in Abga primary. I can't go to Labour Party. That suit is a frivolous suit. So when any time the suit comes on, let nobody pay attention to it.
Okay, let nobody
it will be dead on arrival.
All right, thank you so much, and that's much
I'm
we're
the
going to
candidate,
take.
and I will contest.
All right, that's much we're going to take this very morning until we come your way next time. My name is Tony Olisa Mbeki, the Honorable Speaker of the People's Parliament, the senior advocate of the people. You have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you.